The Niskayuna Silver Warriors have never won a state title in their school's long and illustrious history. They try to change that this year. The team they face in the semis is also looking for state title number 1, the Syosset Braves. From Fowler Field at Middletown High School, Time Warner Cable Sports Channel proud to present New York State Boys High School Lacrosse semifinal action. A Class A showdown this afternoon between Syosset and Niskayuna. And now welcome upstairs, everybody. Glad to see you again. I'm Chris Watson. That is James Allen. This is the New York State Class A state semifinal. James, lacrosse at its highest level in this state. Surprisingly, what I said is true. Both of these very storied programs are looking for their first state title.
It's interesting because Niskayuna has been in this semifinal spot many, many years, and they just haven't been able to break through. They haven't been in the final since 2009, and even in that year, they got to the final and got beaten pretty handily. So they've been close. They've been knocking at it, and Syosset made a major breakthrough. They not only beat the defending state champion in their own opportunity during the season, they came back against a very good team in Williamsville East and beat them. So they're really feeling good about themselves, and they're ranked number 1 in the state.
When we look at the state playoff brackets, how did we get to this point? Well, we're on the bottom half of the bracket. Niskayuna over Mamaroneck, Syosset over Smithtown East. Now, the winner of this game will get the winner of the West Genesee-Pittsford game being played right now. In the other state semifinal, the winners of these games meet in Vestal on Saturday. Key players for the game, let's talk Niskayuna. Aiden O'Brien committed to North Carolina. They love his lacrosse IQ.
Well, there's no question about it. He's a very, very smart player, and he lets the game come to him. He does not try to force the action. Very adept at the passing game and very lethal when he gets an opportunity to beat his defender and take that shot.
For Syosset, Alex Concannon, 48 goals, 42 assists. They say he has really ramped up his level of play in the postseason.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. Smithtown East certainly found out that how good he is and his ability to not only create offense for himself but also for his teammates. And don't let that size fool you at 5'6", 170, tough as nails.
He will play collegiately at Johns Hopkins. All right, so you're in the state semifinal round. We've already had one state semifinal game here this afternoon. This is, where you want to be at this point in the season. So often coming out hot is important. Both of these teams need to kind of check those nerves early because I think both know they just can't come out too over-aggressive.
We've seen this before, and I talked to Mike Vorgang, the Niskayuna coach, and I talked to him on Saturday after they won their game, the previous round, and I said, look, what do you think you need to do today in this game? He says, we cannot have too many turnovers. We've got to start strong, and we really need to be very efficient in our offense. If they do that, they've got a very good chance.
A very entertaining game should be on tap. A Class A state semifinal showdown, Syosset and Niskayuna. Somebody is off to the state championship game. The Syosset Braves, the number 1 ranked team in the state, representing Section 8, are 18-1 this season. Niskayuna 19-2, 9th in the state, representing Section 2. Starting lineups being introduced for both teams. We will tell you about the starters first for Niskayuna.
Well, Sexton's had a really strong playoffs. He had a couple of monster games in the Section 2 playoffs. Had a really strong performance with 4 goals and 2 assists in their regional win on Saturday. And Evan Maloney, certainly a guy that if you do not pay attention to him, he can be very, very lethal for the Silver Warriors.
Starting goaltender is Nick Testa. He is sometimes unorthodox, but always on point. We shall see how he plays in the biggest game of this season. For Syosset, we told you about Concannon. Look at Max O'Keefe up there. Mac O'Keefe, number 3. Lots of guys that can finish for this team. Their goaltender, John Clovis.
And they've really raised their level. Smithtown East had a lead on them early in their last game. They also were able to beat Massapequa, and that was a huge win for their program. The only loss on their docket earlier in the season. They've really raised their level of play over the last month. And not only are they ranked number 1 in the state, they're ranked number 2 nationally in multiple polls. And in the Lax Power polls for the national rankings, they're ranked number 2. Niskayuna's ranked number 60. So if you look at those rankings, it certainly says Niskayuna comes in as an underdog, and I don't think there's any question that that's the case. And I look at Niskayuna's perspective. They're going to have to really play efficient lacrosse. They're going to have to be very mistake-free, as Mike Vorgang talked about.
A very deep team, as you can see. We go down the line for Syosset, and they have what could best be described as an army of players available to them today. Niskayuna is certainly deep, but not as deep as this Syosset team. Starting lineups being introduced for your Niskayuna Silver Warriors. James, you and I have had the opportunity to do a number of games together this year. A number of them have featured the Niskayuna Silver Warriors. We cover this team extensively in Section 2 in the Albany area. This team has been here before. They know the stage. They have come up short on this stage, and I feel like there is an unspoken drive to get over this hump. They desperately want to get over this hump and into a state title game.
Well, I thought something that was very interesting that a couple of their guys talked about. Jake Miller said, he said, look, let's be honest with ourselves. We went into last year's game against Massapequa in the semifinals riding a wave of confidence. Maybe we were a little too overconfident because we did not come in, we did not play our level of lacrosse, and we got overwhelmed. They got pounded in that game. 23-9. Not much really went right for them. They didn't win in the X. They didn't control the ball. They had way too many turnovers, bad passes, bad clearances, defensive breakdowns. They cannot afford to do that. They have to start strong. Not a prerequisite to win the game, but you don't want to get yourself down in an early deficit against the number 1 ranked team.
A reminder that the rights to this broadcast have been granted by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, representing high schools throughout New York State. Any rebroadcast or republication of this program without the written consent of the New York State Public High School Athletic Association is strictly prohibited.
Have a great time doing it. Seniors,
Copyrights out of the way early. We can focus on lacrosse. I'm excited to see how this game goes.
Well, I think it's imperative, not to the degree that they won't win if they don't have a strong start, but I think it's very much more imperative for the Silver Warriors to start strong in the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game. It really puts a lot of onus on the man in the middle, and that's Dylan Pantalone. He's been exceptional throughout this season in the X. He's going to have to be again if the Silver Warriors are going to pull the upset and advance to the state championship game.
Likely to be matched up with Alex Giovinco, the face-off man for Syosset. And for those unfamiliar with Dylan Pantalone, one of the best, if not the best, face-off men in all of Section 2. Arguably one of the best in the state. He has been so on point as of late. He has been really the ultimate weapon for Mike Vorgang.
He got them off to a good start on Saturday when they won their game in the regionals, and they're going to need much more of that. They got off to a strong start. They got the lead. They were able to maintain that lead, although they were pushed pretty hard in that game and wound up winning 16-13. They're going to have to be a little bit more on point, not only in terms of the X, but they're going to have to. They had some really sloppy turnovers in that third quarter of that game, and Mike Vorgang emphasized, said, look, we were good enough in this game. We've got to raise our level from top to bottom if we're going to beat Syosset. They knew they were going to be playing Syosset. They already knew the result. They know that the Section 8 representative, no matter who it is going to be a formidable team. They're not awed, but they certainly know they've got to bring their best.
Mike Vorgang, the longtime head coach of the Silver Warriors, 20-plus years on the sidelines, has taken this program from the ground up and turned them into a Section 2 power. He has put them in the state tournament numerous times. Today is the opportunity, again, to put them in a state championship game.
And they've gotten to the state championship twice in their history. They haven't been able to get it done either time. And I know that certainly the one 2 years ago when they lost in overtime at Marist College in the Bees 2 years ago was one that really still stings.
John Calabria is the head coach of Syosset, 17th year. He says this group that he has this year, and not joking, in all seriousness, says they have been playing together since kindergarten. That's how early they start playing lacrosse in Section 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's ingrained. I mean, we talk about Yorktown, and we'll certainly talk about them in the nightcap of the Class B and how ingrained that program is in lacrosse. But it's no exaggeration. Some of these kids, when they're in their cribs, they have lacrosse sticks in their hands, and that's not embellishment. That's really the reality.
Giovinco and Pantalone at the face-off X to start it. Giovinco had it momentarily. He gets taken off his feet, pushed from behind, not against Niskayuna. Will instead go against, that does go against the Silver Warriors. My apologies. They get the push on Niskayuna to start the game. So Pantalone at the X, guilty of the push. He goes off. Syosset has the first possession of this game in this Class A state semifinal. Keep your eye on 2, Concannon. Alex Concannon bound for Johns Hopkins. Mac O'Keefe bound for Penn State, number 3. Just a couple of the weapons for this Braves team that you will likely hear this afternoon. O'Keefe on the far side, gives it off. Niskayuna defensively has been so good late in the season.
Yeah, Patrick Holmes, Brongard, and Miller are the 3 back, the long sticks. They're going to have to be on point today if the Silver Warriors are going to win this game.
J.P. Lanning, 22, had it momentarily. That is Concannon with the flow coming out of the back of the helmet with the ball. Guarded by the short stick, guarded by Nicholas Horn. They'll go way out up top. Lots of space on the bounce. The game's first goal belongs to Syosset. Rolled in by Matt Bennis.
Well, they got him on the switch, and that was actually good recognition from Concannon. What he did was they had the short stick on him. They switched to the long pole. Holmes went out, and look at all the real estate. And by the time anybody came out to him, and I believe that Horn tried to get out there, I mean, there was no chance. I mean, look how much real estate. That's 10 yards of free real estate to wind up and take a shot. And Testa goes down, unable to come up with it. And just like that, the first really quality shot of the game for the Braves nets them their first goal.
23rd goal of the year for Matt Bennis, and a violation goes against Syosset that time. So Pantalone gets into the X and causes a little mischief and gets his team a chance to possess. John Prendergast drops it back behind the cage for Aiden Byrne.
And this is, I was just going to say, Chris, this is a situation, these half-court, half-field opportunities, they've got to be better at in this game. They dissipated in the second half of their last game. If they do that today, they're going to be in trouble.
Aiden O'Brien had the ball out of his stick momentarily, got it back, fights to get to his feet, now on the ground, a skip pass all the way across for Lucas Quinn, who goes just wide of the cage. Great job by O'Brien just to get that to Quinn.
Yeah, and don't be fooled by the size of the defenders. Some of these guys don't look that big. They're very good with their sticks, whether it's the shorties or the long sticks. And you've got to match their physicality and come up with some really creative moves to beat these guys.
Prendergast using the stick skills to weave through traffic. He gets to Byrne. Byrne skips back for Quinn. You saw the athleticism briefly, but you saw it from Prendergast. Quinn swims around his man, ball comes out. Scooped up by the Braves. Syosset gets it. It's down in the turf. They'll continue to fight. Quinn has come away with it.
Good hustle by Quinn to get back. He used the stick check to get the repossession for the Silver Warriors. After he gave it up, he hustled back in and got that ball back for him.
File this away. One of the keys to the game, according to Mike Vorgang, and I know it's very early and it was really one of the first of the game, he needs the 50-50 balls to be true 50-50s. He needs his team to get possessions because they can lead to opportunities like that. Lucas Quinn ties it at 1.
Great diagonal pass, great opportunity that was created by the hustle by Quinn. Ultimately, he gets rewarded with the goal after he gave it up. He fought back to get that. Great feed by our player of the game nominee and our pregame player to watch, Aiden O'Brien, with a great diagonal pass, setting up Quinn for a quality opportunity and the goal.
The vision of O'Brien can start so many plays for this Niskayuna team, and there's a prime example of it. Pantalone at the X again. Giovinco.
That's one of the things that Mike Vorgang said. Look, when we get our opportunities, especially when it's not in transition, when we're just setting up our offense, we've got to be efficient. Our shot percentage today has got to be as good, if not better, than any point we've had it this year, and that is a key, and certainly that was a quality shot and a quality conversion by Quinn.
It's never too early to put into perspective goal for goal and keeping the game close. You cannot afford in these state semifinal games to dig yourself a hole. Playing even lacrosse is exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, no matter how good Pantalone is or no matter how good any other face-off specialist for any of these teams, and you can't expect they're going to dominate just coming in just based on what they've done before, because the competition level has just risen so much.
Concannon down to a knee, back up behind the cage. Patrick Holmes out there with the long stick on defense. Concannon down again, tries to shovel it, and he shovels it wide at Testa, and Testa went down to match ground level for ground level on that shot attempt.
That was good work by Holmes. Even though he gave up the little bit of a swim move there that Concannon got some free space, he did enough with the stick to carry that shot and make it go wide.
Mac O'Keefe, ball in his stick, gives it off. Lucas Kotler had it momentarily. Patsopoulos has it. He goes behind the cage. There's Concannon.
Good communication on the switches there.
Just going to say that. Little bit of traffic, and Niskayuna slides and changes defensively very well. Called out the pick. Here's O'Keefe with the low one. Turned away by Testa. Rebound put back in on the second chance by Mac O'Keefe.
Well, it's good tenacity there from Syosset, and I'll tell you what, there was a little miscommunication on the clear because I think that Testa, obviously he got the initial save, and I think that they were trying to gather the ball back to him so he could get it in the box. I want to see the rebound because I think they didn't really go to it, and Testa came out to come and get it, and when he did that, he left the goal wide open.
59th goal of the year for Mac O'Keefe, who, as mentioned, is headed for Penn State.
Yeah, 3 sticks around there, 1 Syosset player, and the Syosset player got to it, and that's what Mike Vorgain talked about, the 50-50 balls. You got to get them. They didn't. They gave up a goal because of it.
The face-off shoveled back Syosset's way. Coming up with the ground ball is Joe Majoy, and it allows Syosset another opportunity as early on Giovinco's done a nice job at the X. Patsopoulos gave it off. On the streak is Kotler. Kotler behind the cage. Concannon loses a defender momentarily. Now they got a man open in front. They can't connect. Ball's loose. Skips back about 20 yards. Venice comes away with it. Good stick check from behind by Miller. Testa comes out of the goal. He's down on the ground. He's still got the ball. Whistles.
Timeout.
Yeah, Niskayuna burns a timeout. Testa was in a world of hurt there. Aggressively comes out to get after that ball. But Nick Testa comes away with it. Mike Vorgang burns a timeout. 6:40 to go in the first. Testa, we've seen it with him before. He's a very aggressive goaltender. He's not afraid to do that.
And the thing is about that, Chris, is there's one thing to be aggressive, and sometimes you can be almost foolhardy by your aggressiveness, but he doesn't do that. He makes really quality decisions when he does it. Usually when he comes out, whether it's challenging a pass or challenging a shot, he's usually more often than not right. And one way to draw your coach's ire is if you're wrong, and he doesn't do that.
This is a young man who's been starting for a long time for Niskayuna, and his coach says he's seen a lot of shots. And another way to put that is there's a lot of game experience with Nick Testa. So while the opponent may be new and the players may be new, the situation really never changes. He's been down this road before.
Yeah, I really like the way he played, and boy, I'll tell you what, he was huge for them in the second half on Saturday when they won their regional game 16-13. He couldn't have been better in the key elements of that game, and he came up with 5 huge saves in the second half to help them advance to the state semifinal. Going to Villanova's next year.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's been a number of times, and maybe none more apparent than that game you're referring to in the state quarters on Saturday, where Testa has literally put this team on his back and willed them to victory. We make so much of their offense. Their goaltender is very good.
And their offense had slowed down. I mean, they had a lot of goals in the first half, and they didn't really score much in the second half. Their offense really slowed down. And there was a couple of occasions where he had shots on him, and the other team's fans started to cheer because they thought they had scored, and he'd stopped it.
Right now it's Niskayuna with possession behind the Syosset cage. James Sexton has it pop in and out of his stick. Byrne sets the screen for him, gives it back to Aiden Byrne.
And if you're not familiar with Niskayuna and you see how big Byrne is, he looks big. Well, it's not an illusion. He's 6'6".
Quinn across the field. O'Brien. Shot fake, gets it back, bounce shot turned away, rebound turned away. Sexton had a second shot at it, but now the goal is open for a third time before the Silver Warriors track it down. John Clovis was all over it.
Clovis made 2 quality saves, and I'll tell you what, at least a good thing there by Sexton. He wasn't able to get the rebound, couldn't get a stick on it. He kicked it over, and O'Brien was able to Maloney was able to maintain possession.
O'Brien for Quinn. Quinn on the run, top shelf. Lucas Quinn knocks it at 2.
And one of the things that John Prendergast said to me after their win in the quarterfinals. He said, look, it doesn't make any difference for us who scores. We're going to have dominant sequences where a number of us are going to have 4 or 5 goals. We don't have to let the offense flow through one guy and one guy only. We got a lot of guys. Well, right now, so far through this game, it's been Lucas Quinn. That's a quality shot on the run, beating his defender and rifling it home to tie it again at 2.
We love to tell the story of Lucas Quinn, who before he ever played a varsity game, verbally committed to play at one of the elite programs in the country, Syracuse University. He is just a sophomore now. Pantalone wins it and brings it down. Carries it in, gets by 3, takes the shot and scores. Dylan Pantalone can do just that for this Niskayuna team. They've got their first lead of the game.
First lead of the game, and that is a real positive goal, not only from the terms of, you taking the lead, but he's such a popular guy on this team, and they know how important he is. And, some guys win the X and they peel off the field, and they're not an offensive threat. And he'll take his opportunities, and you better believe that pumps them up.
Mike Vorgang's been around this program 20-plus years. Doesn't hesitate to say Dylan Pantalone is the best face-off guy they've ever had. They'll get a violation. Pantalone helped induce that on Syosset. And Niskay with another opportunity to possess. Aiden O'Brien looking to go, has his path cut off, pulls it back down. Going to try and circle and score. The jump shot! O'Brien scores! That is a very, very important part of his game.
Well, what did we talk about in the open? We talked about the fact that they've got to win the faceoffs. They've got to be good in their possessions. They've got to be precise with their shots. Everything that they could have hoped for has materialized. You get your unbelievable creative goal scorer coming from behind the cage. They're obviously cognizant of his ability to throw a diagonal pass because he's done it already in this game, and he goes top shelf, and Niskayuna has scored the last 3. They've got a 4-2 lead.
O'Brien can find others or he can take it for himself. That time the jump shot, that is a huge part of his game. He has developed that jump shot really into a lethal weapon. Giovinco will get the face-off win on the violation against Pantalone. He'll carry it in, finally picked up by Shepard defensively.
Yeah, Pantalone sometimes will get 2 or 3 violations a game. He's trying to win that clean draw, and sometimes he just doesn't time it all that correctly. And you take some chances. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he'll make the adjustment.
Hatsopoulos had it momentarily. They've worked it all the way back around the field again. Bennis has it behind the cage one more time. Concannon. And you see the spacing of this Syosset team. They have really drawn Niskayuna out.
Well, they feel like one-on-one they can take their defenders with their speed and their ability to create.
Nice exchange there between Shepard and Miller to pick up the man. And they'll do it one more time. Miller's out there now, firing that stick around, trying to dislodge the ball from O'Keefe, but O'Keefe got it across.
They want to isolate if they can. We'll see if it works.
Lucas Kotler gave it off. Inside feed, little bit of space, and Mac O'Keefe finds the room and scores.
That's good work, because you know what happened? They tried to isolate. Niskayuna came out with a double. They made one pass. They got Niskayuna's defensive slide again, and then they found another open man. Good passing sets up the open man in front, and they beat Testa low side to get within 1. Nice work there by the Braves offensively. Very methodical, very well timed, good precision passing. Gets them a goal. O'Keefe puts it away.
4-3 Niskayuna with the lead over Syosset. Under 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Whistles at the X. Violation, and then a string of violations, kind of other guy. We've been alternating. That one goes against Syosset. Prendergast carries in, gets taken off his feet. Shot goes wide.
Really good example of his athleticism. He just sliced through 3 defenders of quality and went right through them like they weren't there.
He is one of the most athletic players in the state and the most athletic player on this Niskayuna team.
Going to Duke next year.
Pass intended for Maloney was just off target from Aiden O'Brien, who had a man. And a couple games ago, we saw this Niskayuna team in the Section 2 championship game, and Mike Vorgang said O'Brien could have had 10 assists in that game. Other guys just didn't finish for him. That's how good he can be. I
totally agree with him. I mean, there's been some times where he's had some unbelievable performances that haven't quite showed up on the stat sheet, and it's not been because of him.
Kincannon, hounded by Holmes.
They're trying to flash to the double, but really good work there by Syosset to recognize it and work back.
Streaking man with a head of steam is denied once by Testa, and then the fancy pass behind the back is turned away as well. Testa 2 for 1 on that exchange.
Excellent work by Testa. Really followed that shot. Not easy to do.
Doxey carries it in, and Doxey, known for his speed, shows his ability to use a little body as well to hold on to that ball.
They'll change possession personnel. They'll bring in Quinn.
I got it.
And O'Brien just came on as well for the Silver Warriors.
I'm told the other Class A semifinal going on right now has West Genesee leading Pittsford. Feed. O'Brien finds Byrne for the goal.
We've seen that time and time again on our Albany area Time Warner broadcasts when Byrne posts up, and he's 6'6", and he's a center on the basketball team. So when he gets in the middle like that, he posts up. That's a big target, not only from the terms of the 6'6" frame, but the stick up in the air, high target, perfect pass with 2 defenders around him, and Byrne puts it away. And once again, the Silver Warriors have a 2-goal lead with 2:04 to go here in the first quarter. A real strong start from the Section 2 representatives.
Not the first time, not the last time I will misspeak this afternoon. It is Pittsford leading West Genesee in the other Class A semifinal being played out west. Niskayuna wins the face-off with under 2 to go in the first. Prendergast carries it all the way in, back behind for Byrne. James Sexton has it on the far side, down to a knee, but pops back up, flirting with that sideline. Sexton gets it back for Lucas Quinn.
And not only has this been a positive start for Niskayuna's offense because of the goal differential, and they're up by 2, they've gotten a lot of their players involved. Certainly O'Brien's been the star, but they've gotten a lot of their other players active, and that certainly gives the defense from Syosset something to think about.
Evan Maloney has it back out almost near midfield, now gives it to Sam Assini. Assini trying to charge in all the way across. It's deflected through traffic and rolled back into the Syosset crease where the goaltender can have it, but he didn't. They rolled it back into the crease. I was wondering about that. It wasn't in the crease when they gave it back to the goaltender. They tried to roll it back to Clovis.
Good call.
Yeah, the referees are all over it, so Niskay will get it back with 1:08 to go in the first.
Assini got bailed out. That was a directional pass, 1-on-4 through the defense. That wasn't even close, and he was fortunate. They got the possession back, and they'll look to probably run most of this clock off of the first quarter.
O'Brien with it. Dangerous from this spot all the way across the field. Quinn got it after it was knocked down. Quinn got whacked in the head at least once. Quinn's going to carry it in, stick check from behind, and knocked down. Syosset a chance to go the other way. Max Birch was the one that dislodged the ball. Braves are trying to bring it down. Prendergast is straddling over the top of this man, and he helps get the ball back. Prendergast by hook or by crook, right?
He says, I'm not going to give up a possession here. I want one more opportunity here before the end of the quarter, and they get the possession back, and O'Brien will look to create as he draws the double.
Prendergast looked like he was playing a game of leapfrog out there. O'Brien gives it off. Maloney took it. It was deflected high into the air. Jeremy Kaplan
good stick
had his
check.
stick
Good
all
challenge
over
on
Maloney's. 14.3 to go first quarter. O'Brien ball in his stick. O'Brien, jump shot, just wide. Niskay will have the back up with 4.8 to go.
You gotta go. Now they're telling him.
And they're going to move Byrne further into the corner, so with 4.8 to go.
They're running a set play.
Yep, Niskay's going to have to go quick. Sexton Too tall, time expires, save is made after the buzzer anyway, but a good first quarter for the Silver Warriors. They've got a 5-3 lead over Syosset after one. First quarter in the books. Niskayuna playing well, 5-3 with the advantage, James. We've seen them in the state semis before, and things can change rather quickly, but I think this is a great start for Niskayuna, only in the sense that last year was such a tough game when they lost that game to Massapequa.
Yeah, they were really out of sorts. They hit the pipes a couple of times early in that game. I was there, and they just never really recovered from that. They had some opportunities, and then they started losing in the X. They started making bad passes. They tried to force the action. This is a much more free-flowing. This is more the kind of characteristics you normally see from a Niskayuna offense. A real strong start, not done yet, but certainly a strong first 12 minutes for Niskayuna. And Syosset very fortunate in some regards to be only down 2 because they got dominated, especially the last 6 minutes.
Giovinco and Pantalone at the face-off X yet again. They'll call a violation against Giovinco, and not so sure Pantalone isn't starting to get into his head a little bit. Prendergast will carry this one in. Look at the physical drive by Prendergast.
Get out of my way.
Used the shoulder to get himself free. His shot does sail high, but that's the big, strong, physical nature of a guy like John Prendergast.
That's a message sender, even if he doesn't score. And obviously that they know this team is definitely physical, and they don't take any guff from anybody, and they're matching the Braves' physicality so far.
That was one thing that John Calabria said to me when we talked the other day. He knows this team is physical. He knows about their speed. He knows about their talent. But he said, sometimes lost in the mix. Niskayuna is a big, strong, physical team, and there they impose their will on them. You see the 6-6 burn in there mixing it up. He knew that this team could get after it and put the shoulder into it, lay a little lumber when they had to.
Kaplan gave it up. Actually, O'Brien was the one that stick-checked it away, and then Byrne made sure that he wasn't able to get the loose ball. And now a good recovery there by Kaplan to get a takedown on O'Brien.
O'Brien still gets it to Prendergast, who tries to find Sexton, but it goes through and over the end line and backed up closest by the Braves, so they get it back. But once again, physical, the early word of the day. And look at Aiden O'Brien going to the turf but not giving it up. Kotler brings it in. Kotler blows by one man, gets by a second. Kotler's carried it all the way down and had a real good opportunity there and just wisely gives it away to give his team a chance to possess.
And one of the things that really hindered Niskayuna's effort as the game went on in their quarterfinal game is they took a lot of penalties. There were a lot of man-up situations. They cannot afford to be in that situation again here today because Syosset's too good on the man-up.
Doxey back there on defense guarding Hatsopoulos. And he's got nowhere to go. Now he finds an open man. Shot fake creates a little separation, and Alex Concannon buries it.
That was really nice work there because, okay, so they have the initial opportunity, it's stalled out, and then they just regroup, and then Concannon gets the ball, and quickly, I mean, this was as quick as possible, and he went top shelf. Tessa thought he was going to go low. Guess what? He faked, and then he took the shot. He got the goalie in that situation, Tessa, to commit, and then once he did, he had his choice where he wanted to go. He rifles into the left side of the net, and the Braves are within one. Nice work there by Syosset on their offense.
Concannon considered one of the best recruits in the country, and we've told you he's going to Johns Hopkins as they'll settle things down at the X. This one clean, no violation. Ground ball scooped up by the Braves. Syosset back within a goal with possession now. Triple team, they maintain possession. Great job to hold on to the ball there by Giovinco.
A good challenge there by Jake Miller to slow down the momentum and get his defense back in a situation where they can set up. And And again, Syosset tries to spread the field, spread the defense out. They feel like, okay, Niskayuna may have the advantage with their physicality around the net. We're going to try to isolate and go one-on-one.
O'Keefe to the top corner, and we're tied. Mac O'Keefe went charging in. He had his mind made up where he was going with that from the minute he charged the cage.
And what did they do? They isolated, they got it out, they drew the defender, they tried to double team. He beat the double team. He says, no, you're not going to be quick enough because I'm going to be able to make my move quick. And you see there, Miller tried to body up on him. By the time the double team came, Holmes didn't get there fast enough. Good quality shot by O'Keefe, his second of the day, and we are tied at 5.
As of late, all season long, really, O'Keefe has been a force for this Syosset team, and that's a big goal. We're now knotted at 5. Talked about momentum swings in these kind of games. Don't dig yourself too big of a hole. Don't make the job too tough.
They're going to start winning at the X, and they've given up the last couple. And this one, looks like they're going to maybe potentially get. No, they don't.
And the Niskayuna sideline is hot. They want to call, and they're not going to get it. But they are working the officials right now. In the end, Concannon comes away with it for Syosset.
We'll watch it. Are you done now? Coach, enough! Enough! I made a signal.
Lucas Kotler with it, far side, guarded by Horn. Kotler going to try and circle, using a pick from Concannon. Goes back to Concannon, who's going to circle, take the same shot O'Keefe took, but his goes just high. Backed up by the Silver Warriors.
And you see here another challenge from the back end by Concannon, and good work there by Holmes to get his stick up and help harry that shot, and Concannon almost put his team up ahead.
Mike Vorgang was very aware of where number 2 was going to be in this game. He knew they had to have laser focus on Concannon, because if there's one guy that has the potential to beat you on his own, it is him. Look at Aiden Byrne bowling over a man
for a ward.
Yeah.
He pushed off, and that was he sought out contact, and that's a pretty easy call to make. And to your point, Chris, I mean, Concannon is a guy that we've seen in a couple of times here. As you see, Byrne just says, "I'm not going to be denied, but I'm going to get the penalty," and he's very physical in that situation. So we're going to get a timeout call here.
Byrne, who is a basketball player with a 6'6" frame, as we have alluded to, that's a charge all the way, but Byrne is going to get looked at.
Byrne's got an injury. He had a concussion earlier.
They'll take a look at Aiden Byrne, and he missed some time late in the season, and health is something that's been an issue for Niskayuna. For Syosset, Mac O'Keefe came into the game, the Penn State commit, verbally committed to play for the Nittany Lions. 58 goals, 24 assists coming into this game.
Now, 1-on-3, he wins the loose ball battle and scoops it up and makes an easy shot at an empty net. And that one was whistled low, left-handed shot. And then you see here again, nice creativity. He sees the double team coming. He fakes a pass. That was very subtle, and then buries it top shelf over Tessa's head. And that is the last goal of this game to tie it up at 5.
The gentleman in the NYPD hat, that is John Calabria.
He's going to throw it back, you understand? And then we clear the ball.
Let's go.
And the last thing he said there was he's talking about the diagonal pass, and that's been basically O'Brien. He's been making that skip pass. They've done a better job of that, but he's reminding his team, do not let them do that, because they're trying to get us to over-rotate. And if they can get that pass over the top, they usually had a wide open shot. In fact, Niskayuna's first 2 goals were set up by those diagonal passes.
They're checking out Aiden Byrne to see how he's doing. We did a game on television earlier this year where Byrne was knocked down a play against Boston Spa.
Took a concussion shot to the head, and that was not in the hit that he initiated. It was on the one that he took after he had drawn the penalty. He got hit pretty hard and got taken down.
So we'll see what Byrne's status is for the remainder of the game. Meanwhile, Syosset's got 2 guys in the same spot. Works out okay as Concannon just goes and takes it away. Braves will get the possession, under 8 to go in this second quarter. Kotler carries it in. He goes behind the cage. Concannon back there. Concannon will circle. Met with a double team.
And a good decision by Concannon. He recognized the double team. Nobody flashed. There was no opening. He's going to regroup.
Here comes the slide. He gives it away. O'Keefe to the top corner. Testa went down. O'Keefe went top shelf.
That's just quality work from O'Keefe. Great setup again by the guy who's been orchestrating most of the offense here. As you see there, behind the net, Concannon sets it up, behind the net pass to O'Keefe, and a quality shot. He rifles it. The defender actually went down and actually took away some of the possibility of being able to block the shot. Didn't want to get hit with it, and instead gave him an open lane to shoot at, and he exploited it.
So Syosset has retaken the lead here after they saw Niskayuna go up a couple. Now 7:20 to go, second quarter. Braves up by 1. They are fighting at that Middletown M at midfield at the face-off X, and it will go the way of the Braves.
Uncle Mo is on their side right now. They're playing well here the last few minutes, and they keep winning those face-off opportunities and putting Niskayuna's defense in peril because they're having to do a lot of work and playing at one end of the field.
Certainly a game of runs for each team. Syosset came out the aggressor. Niskay weathered the storm, got the lead back, but now it's been the Braves since then. Back and forth all afternoon here in the Class A state semifinal.
Hard to get shots on goal and possess when you do not have the ball, and Niskayuna has not had it in this quarter.
And Testa turns that one away, got his stick on it. It was Lucas Kotler who went charging in.
Well, he realized that he was beaten a little bit, and he just threw his stick up in the air, and he got full amount of it with his stick, the metal part of his stick.
Spinning back to the middle of the field, the Braves, they continued to possess. There's a dangerous pass over 2 men, rolls over their sticks on the turf and goes out. Turnover against Syosset.
There was an opportunity there, Chris, for them to beat the double team in a bad pass, and they throw it out of bounds. They had an over-rotation by the Niskayuna defense. Actually had 3 defenders chumming out the challenge, but a bad pass gives the ball back to the Silver Warriors, and now from their perspective, they've got to make this possession count and get some momentum back on their side.
5th turnover of the game for the Syosset Braves. Results in another opportunity for Aiden O'Brien and company. O'Brien gives it off. Maloney behind the cage.
That's Byrne back in the game.
Here's O'Brien with the bouncer. Byrne on the backup, catches it clean, finds Sexton. Sexton goes to the pump fake and scores to knot the game at 6.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that Byrne just showed off his goalie abilities with that small stick because he caught a pretty good shot that was rifled behind the goal and caught it in stride, realizing, hey, they're not going to react to this. I'm going to be able to pump it back in, and Sexton with a little pump fake of his own to tie things up at 6-6 with 5:34 to go here in the second quarter. Nice, good fake, and really Byrne made all that work.
I guess Aiden Byrne's shoulder's feeling okay to scoop and toss like that. 6-6 game, 5.5 to go. Thus far, but everything we've expected.
Quality lacrosse.
Braves win that one, dump it all the way back to their goaltender. Clovis will bring it ahead and give it to one of his long poles. Virch brings it across. Virch has got a man in the middle of the field. Defensive breakdown momentarily for the Silver Warriors, but a fantastic stick check from behind. Was that Miller that came in to wrestle that one away?
It was, and he was the one that created that, and then eventually they get the possession, and Pantalone gets hit from behind. They get the push in the back, and they'll maintain the possession, and that was a fortunate situation. Miller did not give up on the play. He was beaten initially at about the 30-yard line, came back in with the stick check, and gets the possession back for his team.
Prendergast will try to carry this one through himself. He does, weaves through 2 Syosset Braves, and brings it on for Niskayuna. Quinn puts it in the box. Now Quinn back out for Prendergast. Quinn looking for a little room. Tried to go top shelf. Didn't have a whole lot on it as it was checked away. Backed up by the Silver Warriors. Burn for Quinn, Lucas Quinn. Bouncer stopped by the goaltender. Real nice job by Clovis. Stuck with that one all the way.
Really did a good job. That's not an easy shot. He just splashed to the front and tried to catch him off guard with the bouncer. And Clovis was much the equal on that one.
And then another turnover by Syosset. And this is something that Niskayuna felt like they could catch a break with if they could win the turnover battle.
That's Joe Majoy. That's one of the captains. That's a defensive midfielder. That's a veteran that should not. I mean, that's a wide open situation to go from defense to offense, and that's just a sloppy turnover from a veteran player.
Assini in, put it in the box. Will Malurk is out there now for Niskayuna on the second midfield. Malurk's got it on that far side. Here comes Will Malurk on the run. Pass caught somehow by O'Brien, who then tried to turn it into a goal, but one more time, Clovis denies it. But look at the athleticism of O'Brien.
Yeah, that was awfully creative by probably the most creative offensive player on that Niskayuna roster. And now the Braves look to go ahead again.
Good job by the Silver Warriors to get back there on defense. Could have been a breakdown, but they get to their man and slow things down, at least long enough to rattle the cage a little bit of the Braves, if you will. The shot by Concannon is denied and turned around and backed up by Niskayuna.
Testa came out to challenge. He took away some of that angle, got his stick on that. Dangerous if he fakes and he goes, he's probably going to leave it open net, but he decided that I think he's going to try to go on me right now. His timing couldn't have been more impeccable, and he gets the save.
Now Testa has come all the way out to help try and clear this, gets it to Malurk. Malurk gets it across. Under 3 to go, first half. Will Malurk brings it in, puts it in the box, and now brings it out for Niskayuna. Rotation of a new midfield out there again. Sam Massini's got it. Sam Massini spins away, gets to the middle of the field. Now goes far side, goes behind the cage. Byrne goes up and gets it. Byrne trying to use that big frame, bounces it off the side of the net. So Clovis is there to scoop it up. Hard ride there, and there comes the flag. They're going to get Horn on the cross check. Horn goes in to get the ground ball, but it's too late. They're going to get Horn.
White 35.
Nicholas Horn.
Yeah, they're going to call him for the cross check.
35.
I'll tell you what.
White 35 with the cross check.
It's not. I mean, you don't want to give up the penalty, but at least what he did was he got back in the play, got the force away, so at least he didn't give up a deficit situation for his defense. They're allowed to set up, but it was not so much the cross check. It's where the location of the cross check came around the helmet. It's always going to get called.
That is the first penalty of this game. We got 2:05 to go in the first half, and that is the first time either team will have the man advantage.
And that was a big concern for Mike Vorgang based on the last game that they played in the quarterfinals, where they were down almost the entire second half, man down.
So let's see what Syosset can do with the man up here. Going to have it for just under a minute now. O'Keefe back for Concannon. Concannon back up top. Big shot coming from the outside. That was a heater by Kotler.
Well, anybody that's a fan of 80s and 90s hockey, remember Wayne Gretzky and working from behind the net. That's what Cannon's been doing to mastery so far today, working from behind the net and coming forward.
Kotler put some smoke on that one. We thought Prendergast had a shot. That was quite a shot from 43. Kotler hangs on to it that time. Now gives it back, Concannon.
And quick and moving the defense around as they get the back to even.
So Niskayuna kills off the 1 minute advantage back to even strength lacrosse. Nearly intercepted by Doxey, and at least Doxey, who couldn't intercept it, gets in the way and forces a turnover.
Yeah, that's good work from him, and that's an opportunity maybe to possess here to end the quarter, but they throw it away.
8th turnover of the first half, and that that one does, in fact, get over the end line, so Niskayuna turns it right back over.
Doxey does all the good work and then gives it away.
On their 4th turnover of the half.
He did so many positives to get them possession, and then they were trying to go to quick offense, and it didn't work.
To the top shelf, diving and scoring. Nick, I'm going to do it once because it's the first time I've done it today. We're going to get it right. Hatzapetrakis. Nick Hatzapetrakis with the goal.
Well, I'll tell you what, he deserved every bit of that. He got waylaid by Bromgart going down. As he's going down, he keeps his concentration, keeps his head up, and realizes Testa again going down a little bit on him. He went with a top shelf shot on his way to his knees. That is a quality goal with 30 seconds to go, and Syosset has the lead.
Play-by-play man's nightmare. Nick Hatzapetrakis, the man right after him on the roster, it's Hatsopoulos. Confusing for me. Pantalone to the backhand, bounced it off the post. Had a chance to steal one, but couldn't catch a break. Under 20 seconds to go. Here come the Braves the other way. Kotler has it intercepted. Taken away by Miller. 10 seconds to go. Whistle and a timeout by Mike Borgang. 7.1 to go first half. Niski's got a chance to tie it before the end of this second quarter.
Well, as much as they'd like to tie it right now, Chris, I think that more importantly, they didn't go down 2 goals in a situation they very easily could have to get the steal. If they get a goal and tie it up, that'd be a great way to end the half. But certainly don't go down 2. That's very, very important.
You want to listen in on the Niskayuna huddle? Mike Borgang's in there, as our assistant coaches Chris Delano and PJ Williams.
Listen, the last goal they scored on the turnover, we were really late getting in. We've got to understand when the ball's coming this way that we've got to get in. Does that make sense to everybody? We've seen on film they're a transition-based team, so when there's a turnover, we've got to get in the hole there. Does that make sense? Hey, Nicky's screaming for us to get in the hole. Okay? Hey, come on, let's go. Here we go, boys.
That's good work. I mean, that's just like going back to the game plan and say, look, they're a transition-based team. We've got to do a better job. We've got to recognize. We've got to get out and challenge. They've done that on a couple of occasions when things got a little hairy, but they got caught a couple of times where they got over-rotated, and obviously we saw what happened on the last goal. They gave up the lead in a situation where it was 1 attackman against 2 defenders and a goalie, and he beat him.
So 7.1 to go here in the first half, and there are a number of Division I lacrosse recruits on this field, including that guy, number 17, Lucas Quinn, and he will play collegiately for the man on the right. In the stands to see it in person, the Syracuse head coach, John Desco.
There's certainly some guys that still have some possibilities still being recruited, and why not take a look at some very good lacrosse, not only in terms of high school, but certainly potentially down the road, some collegiates.
Quinn gives it off. O'Brien the shot and a save, a big save before the end of the quarter. John Klobus comes away with a stop in the final seconds to get his team to halftime with a 7-6 lead. So Syosset, with 1 half in the books, has a 1-goal lead over Niskayuna. .24 minutes of lacrosse in the books. Syosset a 1-goal lead over Niskayuna in the Class A state semifinal game. Back upstairs, I'm Chris Watson. That's James Allen. I brought my rosters over because I had to tell you my nightmare came true. Hatzapetrakis, who is listed as number 25, scored. Right under him is Hatsopoulos. That's not good for me. The names don't roll off my tongue. I had to pronounce
phonetic. I thought with your Greek background that you'd be able to have those flow. But
I tried.
Apparently they don't work for you.
Yeah, he got a goal, so maybe it'll roll off my tongue the rest of the game. Listen, here, for Niskayuna, we've talked about this. They've been here before. They've been in the state semis. There have been a number of times they've been in this game, and they kind of got blown out early. They're down a goal, but very much in this game.
They are very much in this game, Chris, but their offense really dissipated mainly because they didn't have many opportunities in the second quarter. Let's give some credit. Syosset did a better job defensively. They recognized what Aiden O'Brien was doing them with a diagonal pass. They did a better job of taking that away. The free-flowing offense that we saw in the first quarter from Niskayuna really wasn't there in the second quarter. But more importantly, from Syosset's perspective, they won the X to start the second quarter. They got a couple of goals. They got going, and O'Keefe really did a good job of showing himself. Concannon, whoever it was able to find him, and he put away some quality shots, and the Braves had themselves a lead.
I'm interested to see how the third quarter goes because, even though you've got 13 goals on the board, I think you've got both goaltenders starting to get a little bit of a rhythm, so I'm interested to see if Testa or Klobus, who kind of gets hotter here, if they can kind of ride that wave of momentum.
Well, Klobus certainly had the really strong last 4 or 5 minutes of that second quarter, so he's going into the half feeling pretty confident. Testa had some really good quality saves early. He had a couple in the first quarter. He had one with his stick where he was pretty much beaten, and he basically got the shaft of his stick on a shot. Sometimes it doesn't have to look pretty. It can be unorthodox, and certainly in his regard, he'll kick save with his legs when he doesn't even get his stick involved. He does a lot of things that a lot of other goaltenders can't do physically or are just unwilling to do mentally because they know it's going to hurt them. But really the last couple of goals that Syosset scored, I think, put a little bit of doubt in not only Tessa's mind but also their defense. They did not rotate out. They got caught in a couple of situations where they were out of position. They can't afford to have that happen. If Syosset gets on a little bit of a run, they have an offense that can get rolling and run away with things.
And I'm interested, too, to see, because I think we made a lot about the finesse of the game and the ability to players to find each other and make precision passes and make the perfect shot. That game also had a tone of physical as well, and I'm interested to see if that ramps up, because in one-goal games, in-state semifinals, are you going to try to impose your will? And there's some big boys out there that could do that.
And it's interesting because, last time Syosset, when they were playing Smithtown East, it got physical, and they actually won the battle in the second half that regard. I think they'll raise their level to see if Niskayuna does the same.
All right, back for more at halftime at Middletown High School of the Class A state semifinal game. Go fly a kite, go ride a balloon, watch lacrosse, dealer's choice.
I paid for those tickets.
So many weapons on this Niskayuna team. We've talked about them as we've done a number of games on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel this season. There's Aiden O'Brien, there's John Pendergrass, there's Evan Maloney. Those guys have all been a part of the game, but Lucas Quinn, sometimes as a young man, just a sophomore, is the forgotten man, not in this first half.
Certainly can't forget about him, and he scored their first 2 goals of this game, and he got them their first lead at the game at 2-1, and they were down 1-0, and O'Brien, with an exceptional diagonal pass about 30 yards across the field, he draws the double team, he gets the diagonal pass perfectly placed, and O'Brien buries it for the tie. And then he charges in, beats his defender off his feet, and then another quality shot, top shelf, 2-1 in favor of Niskayuna at that point.
Lucas Quinn, a Syracuse verbal commit, and his future college coach, John Desko, is here to see it. Now, in the open, we talked about Alex Concannon, very good player. He had his fingerprints all over this game, but Max O'Keefe, very much a part of this game.
Well, this was a great little play because he got his shot denied. He hustled in against 2 defenders and the goalie, and he got that loose ball, and then he shows his ability with that low underarm shot to be able to bury it. And he carries in there, and he gives a little no-look like he's going to throw a pass, and all the defenders reacted, and he puts it away in another lefty shot underhanded. O'Keefe with 4 goals on the half. He's been the best player of this game so far.
And there's a look at your halftime stats, your halftime score. Syosset 7, Niskayuna 6. Back for the start of the third quarter on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel from Middletown right after this. Syosset leads this one 7-6 in state semifinal Class A action. The other game just as close.
Pittsburgh is up 6-4 against West Jenny. They're just starting the second half there as we are here at Middletown High School.
Winners of those respective state semis meet on Saturday at Vestal for the Class A state championship. Both teams playing here today will be looking for their first state championship. Whomever gets to that title game, be it Syosset or Niskayuna, never have they won a state title in either school's history. So trying to change that. One of them's going to the finals. They probably don't care who they're going to play. They just want to be in that title game. Pittsburgh or West Jenny will await them. Syosset gets the first possession of this second half. Face-off X has been an interesting back-and-forth battle. It kind of went on a run
kind
there.
of been an ebb and flow, just like this game has been an ebb and flow.
Giovinco had some, Pantalone had some, Giovinco got him back, Pantalone got him back, and now here we are with Syosset with the ball to start the third. Shot on the run, going to sail wide of Testa. Shot taken by
Kotler.
Yep, 43 Kotler. But backed up by the Braves, so they retain possession. Concannon behind the cage. Concannon giving off with O'Keefe. O'Keefe looking for a man in the middle. Couldn't get it to him. Ground ball, though, scooped up. Matsopoulos picks it up. Shot on the run, Kotler again. One more time goes wide.
It was interesting, Concannon, when he tried to catch, when he was behind the cage that last time, try to catch them in a switch and try to make the pass when they made the switch.
Concannon circling back now. All the way around the other side. Testa turns it away. Drops down to kick it away, but Concannon goes and gets that ground ball. Kotler again bounces it wide. Syosset's picking up the pace here to start this third.
They've definitely raised their level. They're going a lot quicker, and they're making their runs a lot quicker. And they're trying to wear down this defense of Niskayuna.
O'Keefe fakes it, keeps it. Lost it momentarily, and then goes and gets it. Long story short, O'Keefe finally gets rid of it.
And Testa, previous save on Concannon, used his leg, and he shook out his ankle. He definitely took a shot on his left leg.
We've seen it all year. Testa, a goalie that's not afraid to get down there, throw out those legs, throw out those feet, whatever it takes.
Yeah, if you saw his calves and his feet, you would see a lot of bruises and a lot of welts.
That young man does take a beating back there at some times. Bound for Villanova when his high school career is over. Kotler going to get a little bit of a pick there. Still hangs onto the ball. Carries it in. Kotler looking for somewhere to go. Hounded by Shepard all the way across the field. Nice catch over there. Hatsopoulos comes away with it.
No, good communication of the double team there by Niskayuna's defense, and then nice diagonal pass to reset for the Braves.
Nice move to get open. Stay open and bury it.
It's your buddy.
One more time. Nick Hatsopoulos with the goal. I'm getting better at it.
Yes, you are. The second time was definitely better. Hatsopoulos, what a great move there. He went one way, he went back to his right, and then he came back again left. And that third move, see there, one move, two move, good swim, goes from right side to left side, and he puts it right post, inside the post. Quality shot to open the second half of the Braves, and they have a 2-goal lead.
9:22 to go, third. Syosset now an 8-6 advantage. Whistles at the face-off X. And the 2 goals that Syosset leads by matches their largest lead of this game.
And they're getting in a dangerous situation now from Niskayuna's perspective because they haven't really had a lot of offense and they haven't had a lot of possession time. So all that offensive flow that they had in the first quarter sort of dissipated. And not only that, they've given up a lot of goals here recently after having a 2-goal lead. It was 5-3, and they were dominating the game. They hit a couple of posts, and since then it's been the Braves game.
Got a man running down the middle. He gives it off to the side. Great spacing by Syosset. That one never got in on Testa, knocked down by the men up front. They'll fight for that ball. Big swing of the stick there from a Niskayuna player, and no flags come down. Syosset would like to argue that. Still fighting for a ground ball. Niskayuna player.
Go against
Niskayuna player goes down hard. Patrick Holmes hit the turf, and that will be the penalty against the team in black.
And Concannon will come off.
Cross check, 1 minute. 1 minute.
He didn't like it. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's not so much the hit, it's where the location of the hit. It's around his neck. You get that stick up around the shoulders and past the shoulders into the neck and head area, it doesn't make much difference what you say. The officials are always going to call that.
And if memory serves, this will be the first man-up opportunity for Niskayuna in this game.
And they need one here.
Been a clean game so far, but Niski with a chance for a minute. with a man up. Connor Wolf in there offensively. First time we've really seen him. Quinn behind the cage. Quinn going to try and circle and do it himself. And Quinn dumps it in. Niski's back within one.
Hat trick for Quinn. He scored the first 2 for the Silver Warriors, and that was an exceptional fake. He not only faked out the goalie, he faked out the defenders, and it only took 19 seconds on that man up. Good work from behind the cage. He flashes to the front, and you see there, he turns the speed on, pump fake, and then he just beats him inside the right post. That is a quality goal from a goal scorer. Little pump fake to the top shelf. He goes low side, gets it inside the pipe. The Silver Warriors is within 1.
At the face-off X, a violation against Syosset, so Pantalone wins that one. Niski within 1, a chance to tie. Prendergast might try to do it himself. Took the shot, it goes wide. Backed up, though, by the Silver Warriors. Sexton gets it behind the cage. Goaltender Clovis was up to a challenge
those
there.
Defenders have not reacted twice. He's going through them 1-on-3 and going slice right through them. Just wasn't able to be able to put away the shot.
Quinn's having himself an afternoon. Now a flag comes down. Great job by Quinn to draw that flag.
Now you want to get a shot.
See what Lucas can do.
Don't want to give up the possession. Want to get something on goal.
Jump shot off the side. Jump shot from O'Brien, that is very much part of his arsenal. Goes off the side of the cage, but another man-up opportunity coming for Niskayuna.
Black 32.
You get the wraparound there. That was a pretty easy call, again, for the officials to make. It has been pretty much a penalty-free game for most of this point. But you see there, you see the wraparound. He got his arm around the neck, and then he pulled the stick. So, I mean, there's just no way that that's not going to be called right in front of 2 of the officials.
Michael Alardo goes away.
And there's really no way that he could have.
Yeah, right.
They would have really not had to see that one to get away with that.
30 seconds, they'll go behind the cage. Quinn, he'll fake it. Now he'll pass it out front. Sexton with a bouncer. Rattles its way around, but goes in. We're tied at 8.
And that is, again, a quality opportunity that was set up. Again, this time, Quinn sets it up for his teammate, passes out, he comes around the cage again. Obviously, the Braves defense is cognizant of him trying to come around the cage, and then he passes it out to the slot wide open. Sexton with the bouncer sneaks it inside the post. 2-man-up situations in the last 46 seconds, and Niskayuna converts both. 2 for 2, and they've got themselves back tied.
I don't know how well we saw it on the replay, but worst celebration goes to John Prendergast. I don't know what he was trying to do. Take Sexton down, hug him, hoist him up. It went nowhere, and John was like, I'm done. I'm out of this.
Well, that's all right. You scored.
Exactly.
Good job, buddy.
You got the goal. We're tied at 8. I'll take it.
We'll work on that later.
They hope they have a week or 3 days to work on it before Saturday. Down to a knee, but popping back up. Katsopoulos continues to possess on the far side for Syosset. Inside feed, man down on the turf. Testa turns it away, but another flag comes in.
Yeah, it's going to be cross-check. And Testa.
Push with possession. 30-second technical foul.
I don't think there's anything that really Niskayuna can complain about there. I think that was a pretty easy call to make again.
30-second penalty
Shepard's
against the Silver Warriors. Yep, Shepard away for 30.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely took him down from behind. That's not much of a question.
Braves have seen Niskayuna come out, score back-to-back goals on the man up. They will try to answer. Same situation. Concannon faking inside feet. Quick shot and a goal. To precision. Concannon waited, found his man, and scored the goal.
Well, I mean, you got to love the fact that the little pump fake there, he's so adept with the stick. I mean, a lot of guys, they try to make that pump fake like that, and they can't hold it in their webbing long enough. And then you see there, good quality pass. He sets up Katsopoulos for the goal, and again, another lead for the Braves.
Katsopoulos scores the goal to put the Braves up 9-8 in a back-and-forth game. I said before, I may continue to beat into oblivion. This game has lived up to all the billing so far.
Yeah,
Violation
so far, this
against
has been a great game, really well played from both sides. Good ebb and flow, good responses from both teams with a little adversity.
Prendergast looking to get by his man. Takes the shot, sails wide. Prendergast is the one you got to watch out for with space. They say he can hit triple digits.
Yeah, he can, and they're obviously very cognizant of him because they've doubled him and tripled him every time he's had the ball and he's tried to flash to the goal.
O'Brien's got it right in front of his bench. Mike Borgang directing the offense from the bench. Here's O'Brien. Got a man open in front. Sexton right over the top.
Didn't get enough on that. I think it got a little bit caught in his webbing as he tried to follow through, and then the defender kind of flashed to him. He tried to go high side, a little bit lacking in the velocity and the location.
O'Brien down to the turf on the far side, and the ball pops out of his stick, scooped up by the Braves, and Syosset's running the other way. Let's see what they can do with it. High pass hauled in, eventually comes back, and a shot sails over the top of the crossbar. Majoy took the shot that goes over. Backed up by the Braves.
Well, the next thing besides a long stick scoring is a defensive midi going down and trying to score himself, and he flashed off, and he looks like he's holding his shoulders. He looks like he's winded, or he may have taken a shot.
Majoy is the one holding his side as he comes to the bench. We'll see how his afternoon goes from here on out.
Yeah,
Testa makes the save.
There's no trainer there. He's looking for a trainer. There's nobody there.
Testa turns it away. Malert brings it down the other way. Malert gives it off for Assini. Assini carries it into the far side near his own bench.
Come on!
Aiden O'Brien with a head of steam. Looking to pass. Looking to the middle. Found a man. Maloney sticks it in the corner. And we are tied again.
I can't tell you how strong patience that was taken in that particular possession by O'Brien. He wanted to score. He wanted to go. It wasn't there. He went behind the cage. The initial cutter wasn't there. He couldn't make that pass. He wanted to try to go to Quinn. It wasn't there. He goes backside, and he definitely made them aware of his diagonal pass. Well, how about the backside pass? That you can't make a better pass. That's perfectly placed. The defense is all sucked in by the goal, and Maloney gets a free look, and he goes top shelf.
Maloney, who we've seen sometimes is Johnny on the spot, certainly right place, right time there, as we'll have some contact, some pushing, a whistle. In the end, Syosset's about to get this ball.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Yep, 4:38 to go, third quarter. Class A state semifinal game. Winner off to the state championship Saturday at Vestal. Hatzapetrakis working behind the cage. Hatzapetrakis will keep it himself, trying to get to the goal.
Good work.
Yeah, real nice job.
Shorty.
One more time, Testa turns it away. That time it was Hatsopoulos.
And he got it. He hustled down and he got the possession. Testa came out of the goal. Now he's going to go forward.
Testa's going to carry it up himself. He got out there, got the backup, got the ball. He's loving life. Now here's Quinn with his shot and the goal. From one end to the other, Testa made it happen.
We don't know how this game is going to play out over the last 3:56 of this quarter, or the last 12. But I'm going to tell you right now, that is a goal that Niskayuna is going to remember. And if they win this game, they'll really remember it, because Testa hustle, his perseverance. He got in, he sets it up. Quinn catches it. It was a high pass, and from about 20 yards out, rifles it through. And Niskayuna once again takes the lead. They were down 8-6 a minute ago. They get two man-up goals to tie it up. They go down again, they respond again, and now they take the lead.
Clean win for Pantalone. Swings it back for Prendergast. Prendergast carries in wide on the shot from John Prendergast.
And when he connects with one, the place is going to go bananas from Niskayuna's perspective, because they know that if he whistles one through and he starts getting confident, they're going to be even more potent to deal with.
Man, this game is getting good. I'll tell you something. The emotion in the crowd, you can feel it swinging side to side. The benches are into it. This is what it's all about right here. O'Brien will get it at midfield with a head of steam. He's going right down the pipe. On the run, cross the field. Great pass. Denied by Clovis, who makes the big save. John Clovis goes up and gets it. Syosset with a chance the other way now. Ball in the stick of a long stick defender. They get it away. Could have been dangerous.
O'Brien with a great diagonal pass once again, but Clovis equal to the task. Maloney went high side and wasn't able to get it done. Good quality pass, good setup for the Silver Warriors, but a better save from Clovis.
Concannon with the ball in his stick behind the cage. Finds a cutter, gives it to him. Across the field, man in the middle. Kotler. Great passing by the Braves. Looking for a little extra room. Denied it once was Testa. Sticks with it. Braves get it back, but Testa weathered the first storm.
He did. And another time where he came out, he realized that the man was sliding toward him. He had beat the defender. He came out, challenged with his angle, made it more difficult to get around him, and got it with his chest.
See where Concannon's going to go. 2:15 to go.
He's out at the top now. He hasn't been working in the back here in the third quarter. They're moving him around.
Lanning working behind the cage right now. Now he comes out.
Now they'll go back. He's going to work back, and now he's got it, and now they'll make the adjustment.
Concannon.
He wants the shorty.
Yep, he just got the switch. Malurk went to him, so Concannon's got the man he wants. Back behind the cage, now in front. O'Keefe spins and scores! Mac O'Keefe, fantastic goal.
And again, they doubled. They tried to flash to Concannon, and once he passed out of the double team, he got the ball to his teammate from behind the cage, and then the great setup coming forward, the spin move, and he beats two defenders. O'Keefe with his fifth goal, and really Concannon again, he sets that up because he draws a double team. He had the shorty on him. They try to double with the long pole, doesn't get to him quick enough. He passes out of it, sets up an offense where they get him in a deficit situation. Niskayuna's defense unable to react to the second pass, and we are tied again.
That face-off is hiked back between the legs for Syosset. They gain possession and now bring it up to the offensive end. Back in a tie game. Now they've got the lead. Braves waste no time getting another goal from O'Keefe.
Sixth on the game, and they get him off the face-off. Only 9 seconds after they scored to tie it up, back and forth. And again, we're talking about face-off back and forth. We're talking about ebb and flow back and forth. We're talking about the scoreboard going back and forth. And a great goal, the sixth of the game from O'Brien. And again, another quality setup, another left-handed shot low. And Testa is usually pretty good on those, and he's gotten beaten on a number of occasions by that low shot by that individual, O'Keefe.
Syosset retakes the lead, now 11-10 Braves. Face-off fought for. Long stick for Niskay comes in. Pantalone goes and scoops it up, gets it across the field. Silver Warriors do get the possession. They get it to Lucas Quinn.
You want to make this one count, and if it takes you to take it down all the way down to maybe 10 seconds, you do. If you got a chance to go, you'll go.
Aiden O'Brien behind the cage. Faking. Byrne lost his stick, got it back. Now out in front for Quinn. Quinn to the middle of the field. Back to the center again. 45 seconds to go. Sam Massini with it. Behind the cage. Maloney circles and shoots it just wide. 26.7 to go. Ball belongs to Niskay.
Sexton on the backup gets the possession. They're going to isolate.
Yep, they're calling it out from the bench. Mike Vorgang directing traffic. Assini with under 15 to go. Lucas Quinn with it. Under 10. Quinn gives it back, tried to work a give and go. Ball's loose on the turf. Going to be fought for out there. Scooped up briefly. Time's going to run out. Niskayuna unable to connect on the pass they had drawn up late in the third. They will go to the fourth quarter of the Class A state semifinal, trailing Syosset by 1. Simply put, during that timeout, we had our microphones pointed at both huddles. The Syosset side, John Calabria said to his team, you win the fourth quarter, you're going to the state championship. Simple as that.
You don't have to be, demonstrative. You just lay it out. Hey, look, this is what we worked for all season. This is what you worked for the off season. All the things you've done up until this point. You have the opportunity to get to the state championship and an opportunity to win it all on Saturday. In order to do so, you got to finish it off this last 12 minutes. And both teams certainly feel like they have an opportunity here. Back and forth. Syosset with the late surge takes the 11-10 lead going to the fourth.
Well, this has been one of the best high school lacrosse games we have seen this season, and maybe one of the best around anybody has seen. Syosset up 1. Pendergrast carries in behind the cage for Byrne. Byrne back up for Sexton. Sexton with a man charging quickly behind him, gives it away, but gets it back, gets a little bit of separation to start over, gets it to Aiden O'Brien.
We got an update on the other game. West Jenny has surged ahead of Pittsford in the fourth quarter. 7-6.
Quinn,
6 minutes to go.
Quinn took the big shot, didn't get to the goal, but was in the area. Long story short, it's tracked down eventually by the Silver Warriors and in the stick of Aiden O'Brien. Watch Prendergast in this situation. He is very comfortable from the outside with a long-range shot that he can fire at 100 miles an hour.
Well, they're obviously very aware of it because every time he slides one way, they send 1 or 2 extra defenders to try to take the angles away from him.
Quinn looking for a screen. There's a lot of traffic there. Quinn pulls it down, gets to the center of the field. Still holding on. Quinn shoots and scores! Loses his helmet in the process, but Quinn, he's having himself a ball game on the big stage, folks.
That is a quality goal once again by the sophomore. He tried to go low shot from the side, and he says, you know what? I better just use my speed, and they're going to chase me, and I'm just going to run diagonally with 2 defenders all over me, and I'm going to rifle one, and Clovis is not going to see this. They basically had 3 defenders chasing him, and he still beats them. That is a demoralizing goal from the standpoint of the Braves because they couldn't have done more things right defensively, and they still gave up a goal.
Got his feet tangled up under him, was losing his footing, was falling down, fires it in. We're 11-11. Violation against Syosset. Pantalone gets the win. Doxey will carry this one in. Doxey will drop it behind the cage, and a bad pass for Byrne is scooped up by Syosset. And they get it back to their goaltender. Wise play as Clovis will bring it up and give it off to one of the long sticks. Kotler with it for Syosset. Behind the cage, they'll operate with Concannon. Concannon gives it away, but don't think that's going to last too long. No, he gets it right back.
He'll be eventually involved in it somehow. Whether he gets the... In hockey, he'd have a lot more assists because he'd have that secondary assist because he's setting up a lot of things today.
Hatzapetrakis over on that far side. Trying to back his man down. Fakes it once. Back to the center. Trying to roll off his guy. Middle of the field. O'Keefe turned away by Testa. Big save from Nick Testa.
Big save.
But Kotler comes away with the ground ball.
And that one, that hurt me up here.
Hatsopoulos inside. Rolls around and eventually rolls into the stick of Testa.
O'Keefe's been wearing Testa out most of this game, but that time Testa got the better of him.
And how about Testa bringing it all the way up? A good 20 yards away, and he's going to walk this one all the way, or at least watch it go across.
He really took a shot on that last goal, and he showed it after he got rid of it.
Testa's limping back to his goal, but he came away with a grande save on that last possession.
I got 2 words for him after this game: cold whirlpool.
Ice pack. Aiden O'Brien. Behind for Byrne. Prendergast on the run. Off the side.
No, it's in.
It's in. from the impossible angle. Prendergast gives his team the lead. I didn't think there was any way he could sneak that in.
Neither did they. And Colbus can't believe. He's like, that didn't go in. Yes, it did. It went in.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, just like I thought, once he scored the first one, his fans, his teammates would go bananas. Look at that. That's in the goal. It's in the goal.
Look at the official come in. He had to see it with his own eyes. I don't think anybody thought he could do that.
Yeah, he did. He definitely put it in. There's a situation where he got caught. He didn't see where he never picked up the trajectory of the ball, and it definitely snuck in the post.
8:29 to go. Niskayuna now back in front by 1. Pantalone has it shoot all the way back down to Syosset, so they actually come away with it. Now spinning through traffic. Here come the Braves. Concannon will operate behind the cage.
Well, if you want a representative from this half of the state to go on, no matter who wins this game, they're going to be a pretty strong representative because this has been a quality lacrosse game.
Winner of this game gets the winner of the West Genesee-Pittsford game being played out west right now. They'll meet for the state championship Saturday at Vestal High School.
And that one's in the waning minutes at St. John Fisher. Last report, West Jenny had gone up by 1.
7-6 West Jenny, I'm told. Kotler on the run. Wide of the goal. Testa was there, but that one scoots by.
And he was very much aware they're going to go on top shelf on that particular run, and he stayed with it.
Concannon. Turns his man around.
Good work. Holmes did a good job.
Has to give it away. Kotler, middle, over the top.
He stayed with him. He used his stick, he used his physicality, and every time that Concannon tried to change direction, he gave him a little bit of a push with that stick and got him separated.
Testa turns that one away.
Horn, good work on the backside to harry that shot, and then eventually they will get it going out of bounds. You see there at the end, Horn got beat, but he got back into it and made sure that shot didn't get on goal.
Hatzapetrakis was the man that took that last shot. 7 minutes to go now, fourth quarter. Concannon, bad angle, pops out of his stick, going to go over the side. O'Keefe is there.
I'm going to score update another game with 2 minutes to go in the West Class A final. West Jenny has gone up by 2. They're up 8-6 over Pittsford. 2 minutes to go for the opportunity to play this winner on Saturday.
11 saves in the game for Nick Testa. 7 of them have come in this second half.
Almost a blueprint of the last game.
O'Keefe pushed away by Brongart. Kotler towards the middle. Malurk with a nice stick check from behind. Niskayuna is very, very aggressive defensively right now. They are blanketing Syosset.
Well, they've done a very good job of communicating. When they've doubled, they've been able to not get burned by the redirect pass, trying to find the open man.
O'Keefe trying to spin back, goes behind the cage. Testa lost it momentarily. Fortunate that Syosset wasn't making a quick break.
The Shorties have done a pretty good job today, whether it's been Horn or any of the other guys have really stepped up.
Concannon, they switch perfectly. Concannon all the way over. Brongard picks him up. Concannon's going to go. Loses it. Had a man in the middle. Had a man wide open in the middle and landing, but they couldn't connect. Concannon was sliding down, couldn't make the pass. Niski's running the other way. Ball out of the stick of Malurk. Malurk gets it back, and a timeout called by the Silver Warriors.
Big possession, big change of possession there. Big opportunity. Concannon created that double team. He got it. He threw it a little bit behind. As he was going down, you see there, he tries to make the pass, and he makes the no-look pass, but unfortunately his teammate wasn't able to get there on his stick, and Niskayuna eventually gets toward their sideline. They call the timeout before the stick check pokes the ball away. 5:37 to go. Niskayuna looking to consolidate on their 1-goal lead.
A reminder that this is the second game of a lacrosse triple header here at Middletown. One more to go for you. The Class B state semifinal, 8 o'clock, Manhasset and Yorktown, to find out who will represent Class B out of the East in the state championship game.
The Huskers only have won 7 state championships, including last year. They've only won 38 Section 1 championships. They've been a program for 50 years. They've won 38 sectional titles.
We talk about gold standard, and you spoke of the 7 state championships that Yorktown has won. That is the 3rd most in state history. If they were to repeat and win another state title this year, they would tie Ward Melville for 2nd place all time.
And there are many football coaches that would like to have their back line as their linemen, because I'm going to tell you right now, they've got some physical hosses in the back. They're going to be hard to deal with, and Manhasset's going to have to raise their level to be able to get past them.
But first things first, we got a great Class A game to wrap up here. 5:37 to go. Niskayuna leads Syosset 12-11.
And the guy who scored the last goal, they'd love to be able to get him to whistle one again, and that's Prendergast, who will take the restart here at the 40-yard line.
Prendergast puts it in play, gives it to Sexton. Sexton bounces off his man, puts it in the box, now goes behind for Byrne. Maloney with it. Maloney's trying to outrace everybody to get to the middle of the field, now carries it all the way over.
They don't want them to double. They're going to try to outflank them. They're going to try to run as much possession, and if they get an advantage, they'll go.
Quinn has it pop up out of his stick. Nice takeaway there. Alardo helps force the turnover, get possession, give Syosset a chance. Whistle and a timeout taken by the Braves.
And that's the danger. If you're going to go, you got to make sure you maintain possession. Quinn tried to beat him with the swim move. It didn't work. He got it poke checked away from him, and the possession and the timeout will go to the Braves.
4:54 to go, 4th quarter. Niskay by a goal. Meat and potatoes time right here, folks. This is what you play the game for.
These are the moments that separate the really good from the excellent. For both teams, both regards, offense and defense. Somebody looking to step forward and make a play to potentially propel their team into the state championship on Saturday.
Well, this would mean a lot for both teams. Mean a lot for Niskayuna, for a team that's chasing their first state title, just like Syosset. But Mike Vorgang, 20-plus years the head coach, went over 350 career wins this year. I always ask Mike about his players. This week, I asked Aiden O'Brien, one of his players, about Mike, and he said he's our mentor. He's our guy. He's the one that's led us to this point. You get the sense that this team wants to win for themselves, would mean a whole lot to get their coach back to a state championship game. Syosset with some nice spacing, some good passing. Kotler looking for the middle, gives it off on the far side. Bennis has it, gave it away. Bennis does have it again, far side. Kotler going to come off a screen. Horn in defense, in pursuit. Kotler thought he had an opportunity, gives it to Concannon. Concannon. Braves content to work it around. Knocked down in traffic, taken away by Michael Doxey. Doxey has it, retreats, now pushes it over. Gives it off to one of his long sticks. Miller's got it, brings it across. Miller gets it to Horn. Niskayuna needs to settle, get the midfield out there, get the fresh legs out there. Doxey to a knee, and a timeout called by Mike Vorgang. Wisely called, as things were getting a little unsettled.
You brought up an interesting point about Mike Vorgang being the mentor, and one of the things that he's been able to do that a lot of other programs like a Syosset or teams from downstate don't have to do, more often than their players have played since their kindergarten, first grade, second grade. He's found players that never played lacrosse. They're in middle school. They might be an 8th grader, and within 2 years, they're Division I players. He's turned them from not playing the sport to getting a Division I scholarship, sometimes before they've ever played a varsity game.
Let's listen in on the Syosset huddle right now.
Now be smart about it. Be ready for a lightning bolt.
And before we do that, I'll remind you that you can be a part of the broadcast on social media. Facebook, we're on TWC Sports NY. Twitter, we're on TWC Sports NY.
And that takes a special ability to find somebody that's never played the sport and say, you know what, you could be a really good face-off guy. You could be a really good defender if we just put a stick in your hand and teach you the game. And within a couple of years, good hard work. Obviously, you have to have athletic ability, and you got to have some God-given abilities, even if you've never played this sport. But be able to recognize that, and he's done that time and time again over the last 10 years. There's been guys that have never played this sport, and within a couple of years, they've got a Division I scholarship.
I have mentioned on multiple occasions that both teams in this game have never won a state championship. Niskayuna would also carry the flag for Section 2. No Section 2 boys lacrosse team
or girls lacrosse
has
ever won it. They've gotten to the finals. Niskayuna a couple times. Guilderland got to the finals and lost by a goal over at Cortland about 4 years ago. It has not happened yet for Section 2.
So if Niskay were to get there, they would be looking to make history for Section 2. Prendergast with the ball, changing direction, met by a double team. Prendergast eluding trouble, goes behind. Byrne will set a pick for him. Gets it off for O'Brien. Aiden O'Brien to the middle of the field, to the jump, he shoots and scores. 3 minutes to go, Silver Warriors by 2.
He loves that jump shot, and it's one thing to love a certain shot. There's guys that love to shoot the 3 in basketball, but they can't throw it in the ocean. This guy can not only take the shot that he likes to take, but he can finish with the shot he likes to take. And he comes around, he gets his body squared up, and it's like a little hook shot. It's a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar lacrosse hook shot right into the goal.
What's the old adage in basketball? You're open because they know you can't make it.
You can't shoot, but I'll tell you what, there's nobody on the field that will ever say that Aiden O'Brien can't shoot, and that's an example. Niskayuna has a 2-goal lead with 3 minutes to go, and they get the violation on the X.
Pantalone forces a violation to get the X win again. He has been the weapon, and now a flag's going to come down on the far side. Stick was up near the helmet of Doxey. They're mixing it up on the far side. Aiden Byrne just pushed a man down.
He's trying to take a dive to try to draw a penalty against Niskayuna, and the official said, you're right in front of me. That was a dive. That was not a hit. We're not giving you a penalty. That's good officiating.
So the only penalty over there, which certainly could have been dangerous on Niskayuna and Aiden Byrne being in that situation, it'll go against Syosset. A 30-second technical. Michael Alardo.
Yeah, and at the end of this, he tries, obviously there, he gets the hook shot around the neck. There's no way you can't call that. How he could even argue it. Then he takes a shot with the stick, and then he basically just takes a little bit of a hit from O'Brien. It was Byrne. It was a hit, but it was a definite embellishment, and the official said no.
30-second man-up opportunity for Niskayuna now. O'Brien shoots and scores to the jump shot again. Silver Warriors by 3.
And the other game has just gone final. West Jenny holds up Pittsford 8-7. O'Brien comes around and says, look, I'm going to take the jump shot until you show me you can stop it. And he gets 3 defenders, takes a hellacious hit at the end of that, and buries it. 3-man up situations for Niskayuna, 3 goals.
Aiden O'Brien is a 4-year varsity player. His coach says he's the best on the team. They love his IQ. They love his understanding of the game. He's a tremendous feeder and a tremendous shooter. He is trying to carry his team to the state championship game.
But you gotta love them. He realizes, hey, I'm creating a lot of offense as Pantalone gets another win, but if I have to go and I have to be the guy to take the shot, I will take the shot. I will take that responsibility upon myself. And he does, and he buries 2 goals.
Malurk tracks it down, a dangerous play. He comes away with it, ball rolling around, stick rolling around. Eventually, the ball comes to Evan Maloney. Maloney will drop it all the way back. It's nearly intercepted. Holmes is over there. He swats it ahead to Brongart. This is an ugly situation right here. And
it's going to across.
Yep, it's going to be failure to advance.
They were trying to call a timeout, but it didn't get it across. Brongart wasn't able to get the loose ball before they gave it up.
So Syosset now with the ball, just over 2 minutes to go, trailing by 3. They have the offense to make this happen. But Testa steps in front of the pass and intercepts.
He knew exactly they were going to try to go behind the goal to Concannon. Luckily for him, he doesn't throw it away. Almost did. But that's great recognition by the goalie, taking a chance of coming out of his goal. If he's wrong, he gives up a goal. But instead, he gets the possession for the Silver Warriors.
Prendergast is going to do it himself, but they're still going to get him on failure to advance. They cannot get it across, so with 93 seconds to go, a 3-goal lead for Niskayuna. The ball back to Syosset. Shot on the run, turned away by Testa. Malurk throws it back, too tall for his goaltender, who has to go and get it, who now fires it all the way back to midfield.
And it gets to the midfielder.
Sexton comes away with it. Sexton to Maloney. Maloney carries in. Inside feed, Byrne. It rolls by the goal line, but not over. 1:07 to go.
Even though they didn't score, Chris, they're chewing up time, which is time is their friend right now.
Braves need to go. There's less than a minute to go. O'Keefe against a double team. Concannon back to the goal. Hit the post. Rebound scooped up by O'Keefe. Test is out of the goal. Concannon gives it away. Coming up on 30 seconds to go.
They got to take a shot.
Niskayuna is content to just let them wait. Testa the save. Rebound.
Again.
Scooped up by Testa. Now he's in there mixing it up. A whistle and a push against the Silver Warriors.
Or a push. He tried to plow his way through. But what a couple of saves there by Testa. Again in the 4th quarter, just like he did against Mamaroneck.
Kotler, the shot, it's wide, knocked down by one of the defensemen. Testa comes away, throws it up to Brongart.
Holmes took it.
Brongart brings it across. Going to be 10 seconds to go here. Brongart hangs on to it. 5 seconds to go, and the Niskayuna Silver Warriors are going to get their chance. Niskayuna will play for the Class A state championship on Saturday.
Niskayuna rose to the occasion once Syosset took the lead in the second half. And remember, it was 11-10 at the end of the 3rd quarter, and O'Keefe had scored his 6th goal. And guess what? They pitched the shutout in the 4th quarter, and they beat the number 2 team in the country, the number 1 ranked team in the state, to get to their 3rd state championship game, their first since 2009. And Niskayuna rose to the occasion in the second half, and they deserve to win this game.
Niskayuna advances. They will take on West Genesee on Saturday. More from Middletown after this. I don't know if you're going to see a better high school lacrosse game this season. You can only hope the next game on our airwaves is just as good. Maybe the state championship is just as good, but for the Niskayuna Silver Warriors, they won't take it any other way. Niskay wins 14-11 over Syosset to advance to the state championship game. We will go down to the field now to talk to the head coach of the Niskayuna Silver Warriors, Mike Borgang. Mike, first things first, congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Mike, can you put into words what it took for your team to win today? This was a classic game.
No, just, they put a lot of pressure on us, and we knew they were going to do that, and our guys, really took it upon themselves, our middies and our attackmen offensively to deal with the pressure and be able to run by somebody and then actually shoot the ball really well today. I think we might have won the ground ball battle. If not, it was 50-50. 50-50, what I said that needed to happen. Also the face-offs, I don't know what they were, but they were at least 50-50. Those were the things that we thought were as important. And finally the goaltending, and ours was great today.
Well, Mike, you said you had to be precise with your shooting. The fourth quarter, you couldn't have been better. And O'Brien is such a good guy at setting up guys, but he also realized, hey, look, I got an advantage when I come around the cage. He hits 2 jump shots there to put you up from 1 to 3. How big was his performance, especially throughout the game, but definitely in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, well, he's a 4-year player for us. He's been on the team 4 years. He understands what we're trying to get done. He understands how to shoot the ball when he should or pass it. I mean, that's why he's a 2-time All-American. He's just a great player.
Mike, I'll ask you 2 questions before we let you go. I know you had a tremendous rooting section here, but obviously the game on TV back home on Time Warner Cable Sports Channels, the support you get from Niskayuna, I don't think you could ask for anything more.
No, absolutely not. It's the best place to be. I'm glad I'm there.
And final question, now that your team has advanced to the state title game, what does this appearance mean for your program?
Just another step forward, as we talked about. The ultimate goal is to win the state title, and we're going to have that opportunity.
Niskayuna and West Genesee on Saturday. Mike, congratulations. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
We'll see Niskayuna on the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel airwaves on Saturday when they take on West Genesee. As we look at the final stats from this absolutely classic game that sees Niskayuna win 14-11.
It's that last column on the right-hand side. That was the difference. The 2 man-up goals when they were down 8-6, and then they scored, and they got the equalizer on the second one, and then obviously the last man up gave them the 2-goal lead, and that was the separation they need to finish it off.
Niskayuna has never won a state title in school history. Section 2 has never won a state title in school history. They will have their chance to make history on Saturday. Niskayuna over Syosset 14-11. For James Allen, the entire Time Warner Cable Sports Channel crew, I'm Chris Watson. We'll see you back here at 8 o'clock.